Hello friends, welcome to Law and GK. So friends, on this channel we discuss the contents of law and previous year papers of judicial services and other legal exams. In today's video, we are going to discuss all the questions of Contract Act which have come in examination of DJS from the year 2010 to 2022. I hope कि ये videos आपके लिए बड़ी useful रहेंगी. So friends, if you are preparing for judicial services, this channel will be very useful for you. आपके लिए बड़ा ही beneficial रहेगा.
Question 161. Consider the following statements with regard to Uberrima Fides. It falls within the class of cases which require utmost good faith. Yes. Every contract is a contract Uberrima Fides. No, it is not necessary. And statement 3 is contract of insurance is an example of Uberrima Fides. Yes, correct. So the right answer is option number B. 1 and 3 are correct. Now question 162. A by a letter offers to sell his car to B for ₹75,000. At the same time, B by a letter which crosses the above letter while in post offers to buy the car for ₹75,000. In this context, which one of the following preposition is correct? This question is basically related to cross offer. Okay, this is an illustration of cross offer. So read out the options. That A contract is concluded when these two letters cross each other in post. A contract is concluded when the letter is posted by A reaches B. No contract is concluded at any time. A contract is concluded only when the letter posted by B reaches A. Here the right answer is option number C. No contract is concluded at any time. Question 163. X duly posts a letter of acceptance to Y, but the letter is lost in transit by negligence of the post office. There is no contract concluded because the acceptance has not reached the proposer. There is no contract concluded because the proposer had not received the letter. The contract is concluded because the acceptance is complete from the date of dispatch, notwithstanding any delay or miscarriage in its arrival from causes not within the acceptor's control. Or none of the above. The right answer is option number C. And which section? Section 4 of Contract Act, which talks about acceptance. Question 164. A in an offer to sell a property gave B the right to accept within 14 days. The next day at about 3:50 p.m. B sent by post his letter of acceptance, which was received by A's office at 8:30 p.m. But before that, at about 1 p.m., A had posted a letter revoking his offer. The revocation and acceptance crossed in the course of post. B received the letter of revocation at 5:30 p.m. So, revocation has been effectively made, has not been effectively made. In case it is a case of cross offer, so no contract can be said to be concluded, or none of the above. Here the right answer is option B. Revocation has not been effectively made. And revocation is mentioned where? Under section 5 of Contract Act. Question 165. Consideration is what? A motive for any promise, a price for any promise, only a moral obligation, something of value in the eye of law. This is a conceptual question of Contract Act, and here the right answer will be consideration is price for any promise or something of value in the eye of law. So right answer is option number C. 2 and 4 are correct statement. Question 166. A daughter promises to give maintenance to her uncle in consideration of her mother making a gift of certain properties to her. The daughter pleads lack of consideration when the uncle seeks to enforce the contract. She says that the uncle is a stranger to the consideration, so he cannot enforce the contract. Here the daughter will succeed because the uncle, being a stranger to the consideration, cannot enforce it, or will not succeed because the uncle is a near relation, and in such cases consideration is not necessary. And option C, cannot succeed because according to Indian Contract Act, consideration might move from any person. So in Indian Contract Act there is no privity of contract, so option C is the correct answer. And this question is basically a case. The case name is Chinnaiya versus Ramayya. Correct answer option number C. Question 167. The mother owes ₹10,000 to her daughter, but the Limitation Act has barred this debt. The mother signs a written promise to pay ₹3,000 on account of the debt. In this case, which one of the following is the correct? There is no contract as the debt is already barred by limitation, so it cannot be revived by subsequent promise. There is no contract because the mother has promised to give only part of the debt. This is a contract because there is a natural love and affection relation and the promise is in writing and signed. Option D is this is enforceable against the mother because such a promise is valid and binding under the Indian Contract Act. There is natural love and affection. It is basically exception to section 25 of Contract Act, right? And option D is also correct. So C and D both are correct. Now come to next question. Question 168. Which one of the following does not amount to fraud? Fraud. Section 17 Contract Act. Option A. Suggestion as a fact of that which is not true by one who does not believe it to be true. Option B. Active concealment of fact. Option C. A representation made without knowing it to be false, honestly believing it to be true. And option D. A promise without any intention of performing it. So not fraud is option number C. Question 169. A offers to sell B a painting which A knows is a copy of the well-known masterpiece, B thinking that the painting is an original one and that A must be unaware of this, accepts A's offer. The contract is invalid. The contract is valid one because a unilateral mistake will not make a contract invalid. The contract is valid because there is no misrepresentation or none of the above. Here the contract is valid one. Option B is the correct answer. But now come to question number 170. Which of the following is not an agreement to restraint of trade? Agreement in restraint of trade is in which section? Section 27 of Contract Act. And see the options. Statement first says that A sells the goodwill of his business with an agreement not to carry on a similar business within specified local limits so long as the buyer carries on a similar business. A sells the goodwill of his business with an agreement not to carry on a similar business within India so long as the buyer carries on a similar business. Option C is A sells the goodwill of his business with an agreement not to practice the same trade for 25 years. Or statement 4 says that A sells the goodwill of his business with an agreement not to engage in any business competing or liable to compete in any way with the business for the time being carried on by the buyer. Here the right answer is what? Statement first and third. Now question number 171. A promises to paint a picture for B by a certain day at a certain price. A dies before the day. The agreement does not lapse and can be confirmed by or against legal representative of A. The agreement becomes voidable at option of A's legal representatives. The agreement lapses for both the parties or agreement becomes unlawful. Here the right answer is option number C and it is section 37 of Contract Act. Question 172. X agreed to supply 1000 tons of iron at rupees 100 per ton to Y to be delivered not later than 31st of January 2002. X also entered into a contract with A for purchase of 1000 tons of iron at rupees 80 per ton, telling A clearly that the iron is needed before 31st January 2002 for supply to Y to fulfill the contract with Y. A fails to supply the iron to X, who in turn failed to supply the same to Y. In an action by X against A, X can recover damages for the loss or profit he would have earned by timely supply to Y and also the damages which X might have paid to Y on account of breach of contract. Option B is the correct answer and this is actually illustration J of section 73 of Contract Act. Now come to question 173. Which of the following statement is correct? A voidable contract is an agreement which is enforceable by law at the option of one or more parties thereto but not at the option of the other or others. Option C is the correct answer and this is the definition of a voidable contract which is mentioned in section 2 clause I of Contract Act and this is also a repeated question of 2014. Question 174. A landlord in good faith let out his premises to a young widow on a rent of rupees 1400 per month. Later on, he came to know that the widow was using the premises to carry on prostitution. In a suit by the landlord for recovery of rent, the court should do what? Should not reject the claim as the landlord had no knowledge of the purpose for which the widow was to put use the let out premises. Option B is the correct answer. Question 175. A owes B rupees 3000, C pays to B rupees 2000 and B accepts it in satisfaction of his claim against A. This payment is a discharge of the entire claim. Option B is the correct answer. And this is which section? Section 63 of Contract Act. Question 176. If a notice at the entrance of an automatic car park is an offer, it can be accepted by driving in. Option C is the correct answer. Question 177. Consider the following statements. If a person who finds goods belonging to another takes them into his custody, then he can pledge the goods, can gift the goods, is subject to the same responsibility as bailee. Subject to the same responsibility as bailee. And it is mentioned where? Under section 71 of Contract Act. Right answer is option number C only. Question 178. The defendant's husband agreed to pay rupees 400 per month to his plaintiff wife in consideration of her giving up prosecution against him under section 494 of IPC. An offence compoundable with the leave of the court. With the leave of the court, the offence was compounded and the husband was acquitted. In an action by the wife to enforce the agreement, the husband contends that the agreement is one to stifle prosecution and hence unlawful. In the light of above, which statement is correct? Now see the option D, that the wife can enforce the agreement against husband as agreement is not one for stifling prosecution, as the offence is one compoundable with the permission of the court and has been so compounded. Option D is the correct answer. Come to question 179. J, a usual customer of B, orders certain goods on the day on which the B transfers his business to the plaintiff. The plaintiff accepts the order and supplies the goods. Thereupon J refuses to pay to allege that he has intended to contract only with B since he is having set off against him. Option A has no liability to pay the price because he has never intended to contract with the plaintiff. Right answer is option number A only. He never intended to do so, but here he has the duty to return the goods. Okay. Now question 180. A, B and C jointly promise to pay rupees 300 to P. P files a suit to recover the amount. Which of the following statement is correct? See the statements. C, that since A, B and C are joint promisor, P can recover the amount from any one of them. C is the correct answer, and this is actually section 43 illustration A of Contract Act.
Next is 90. Communication of acceptance is complete as against the proposer. Where is communication is mentioned in section 4 of Contract Act. And where it is complete when it is put in transmission as so to be out of the power of acceptor. So 2 is the answer. Next is 91. If only a part of consideration or object is unlawful, the contract under 24 shall be. देखिए ये जो अब ये क्वेश्चन जो है ना ये ट्रिक क्वेश्चन है, बिकॉज सेक्शन 24 में लिखा हुआ है कि एनी पार्ट ऑफ सिंगल कंसिडरेशन फॉर वन और मोर ऑब्जेक्ट्स और एनी वन और मोर ऑब्जेक्ट फॉर सिंगल कंसिडरेशन. देखिए सेक्शन 24 कहता है कि वेयर एनी पार्ट ऑफ कंसिडरेशन और ऑब्जेक्ट इज अनलॉफुल देन एग्रीमेंट इज वॉइड. अब यहाँ पर कहीं पर भी सिर्फ सिंगल वॉइड नहीं लिखा हुआ है, लिखा वॉइड एज अ होल. हमारे पास ऑप्शन ही ये बचता है, ऑप्शन नंबर 3. यहाँ लिखा हुआ है वॉइड एज होल. बट अगर हम सेक्शन 57 की बात करें तो वहाँ पर देखिए ऑप्शन दिया हुआ है, देयर इज अ ऑप्शन when the agreement can be separated from legal and illegal. However, in section 24 there is no option been given where there can be differentiate between legal and illegal, and when there is an agreement which is inseparable from the illegal branch then it is void as whole. अब यहाँ पर देखिए कॉन्ट्रैक्ट अंडर सेक्शन 24 पूछा हुआ है, तो स्पेसिफिकली अगर पूछ रहे हैं तो इट वुड बी void एज अ होल. बट इफ से कि अगर यहाँ पर 24 नहीं लिखा होता देन इट वुड बी द आंसर void टू द एक्सटेंट. So in this case, we would say that 3 would be the answer. Next question number 92. Two parties enter into a contract. They later realize that there was a mistake in their understanding of law as applicable in India. This makes the contract known as कि कभी हुआ ही नहीं, void, voidable, none of these. So none of these आएगा because this agreement is valid. अगर फॉरेन लॉ होता तो वो भी वॉइडेबल हो जाता। 4 इज द आंसर। नेक्स्ट इज 93, ए कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कॉज बाय मिस्टेक ऑफ लॉ नॉट इन फोर्स इन इंडिया। देखा आ गया ना यहाँ पर, तो इट हैज सेम इफेक्ट एज दो इट वाज कॉज्ड बाय अ मिस्टेक ऑफ फैक्ट। तो जो मिस्टेक ऑफ फैक्ट का होता है कि मान लीजिए एक पर्सन ने अगर मिस्टेक ऑफ फैक्ट किया है तो वो क्या रहेगा, वैलिड रहेगा। और जब दोनों मिस्टेक पर हैं तो क्या होगा, वो वॉइड हो जाएगा। एंड ये फैक्ट कहाँ पर लिखा हुआ है, ये लिखा हुआ है आपके सेक्शन 21 में ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्ट के। दोनों क्वेश्चन ये वहीं से हैं, 92 भी 93 भी सेक्शन 21 से। नेक्स्ट 94, एन एग्रीमेंट इन स्टेट ऑफ ट्रेड इज void to such extent. तो 3 is the answer. The same question was asked in 2019 and the section is 27 of Contract Act. Next 95, which of the following is an offer? Bid at an auction sale, banker's catalog of charges, menu card at restaurant. तो इसका आंसर रहेगा 1, बिड एट ऑक्शन सेल। देखिए मेन्यू कार्ड जो है दैट इज ओनली एन इन्विटेशन टू ऑफर। बैंकर्स कैटलॉग ऑफ चार्जेस इज ऑल्सो एन इन्विटेशन टू ऑफर। जब टेंडर आया और उसमें आपने बिडिंग करी, द बिड इज एन ऑफर। जब वो एक्सेप्ट कर लेंगे, जब हैमर फॉल होगा या फिर जो आजकल तो ऑनलाइन होता है ऑक्शन, जो फाइनलाइज हो जाएगी, दैट विल बी एन एग्रीमेंट। ऑलराइट, नेक्स्ट इज 96, if a future event on which contract is contingent is the way in which a person will act at a specified time and the event shall be considered to become impossible. तो क्या होगा, when such person does anything which render it impossible that he should so act within any definite time, otherwise then under further contingencies. तो both 1 and 2 would be the answer. 3 is the answer. Where it is mentioned in section 34 of Contract Act. Next 97, which of the following cases a contingent contract becomes void? Void कब हो जाएगा? If the contract contemplates the happening of event within a certain time and event does not happen or its happening become impossible, तो void हो गया, yes. The performance is made to depend upon event which is already impossible. This is also void. Event contemplate does not happen. इसका आंसर क्या रहेगा, 4, 1 and 2. एंड वेयर इट इज मेंशन, इट इज फ्रॉम द सेक्शन 35 ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्ट.
Come to question number 6. The term consensus ad addendum means what? No agreement can have more than one meaning. To agree the same way, to agree on the same thing in the same sense, and to agree for the different objects in the same sense. It is to agree on the same thing in the same sense. Right answer is option 3. Come to question number 7. In which case it was held that a contract through telephone is concluded at the place where the acceptance is heard? लक्ष्मण शुक्ला वर्सेस गौरीदत्त, कार्लिल वर्सेस कार्बोलिक स्मोक बॉल, भगवान दास गोवर्धन दास केडिया वर्सेस गिरधारी लाल परषोत्तम दास, और ऑप्शन 4 सत्यव्रत घोष वर्सेस मुगनीराम. द राइट आंसर हेयर इज ऑप्शन 3, भगवान दास गोवर्धन दास केडिया वर्सेस गिरधारी लाल परषोत्तम दास. Come to question number 8. A saves B's property from fire. The circumstances indicated that he had done so gratuitously. Whether A is entitled to compensation from B or no compensation, compensation from the government or compensation from the heirs of B. Here he has done the act so gratuitously, so there will be no compensation. Right answer is option 2. It is basically a conceptual based question. Come to question number 9. The doctrine of privity of contract means that a contract is a private affair between the parties. Option 2, consideration can be supplied only by the parties to the contract. Option 3, the contract can be enforced only by a civil and private action. Or option 4, only parties to a contract can sue and be sued upon the contract. Well, doctrine of privity means that only parties to the contract can sue and can be sued upon the contract. The right answer is option number 4. Question 10. In India, the doctrine of impossibility of performance of a contract being void is based on option 1, the theory of implied term, option 2, the theory of just and reasonable solution, option 3, supervening impossibility or illegality as laid down in section 56 of the Indian Contract Act, or option 4, the principle of unjust enrichment. Doctrine of impossibility is in which section? Section 56 of the Act. So right answer is option number 3 only. Question number 11. An agreement is void if its object or consideration is forbidden by law, of such nature that if permitted it would defeat the provisions of the law, or is fraudulent, or the option 3, the court regards it as immoral and against public policy, and option 4, all of these are correct. So all these 3 options are correct. The right answer is option number 4, and it is mentioned where? Under section 23 of Contract Act. Come to question number 12. Which of the following is not a quasi-contract? Option 1, obligation of a person enjoying the benefit of non-gratuitous act. Option 2, responsibility of finder of the goods. Option 3, quantum maritime. Or option 4, novation. Novation is mentioned where? Under section 62. And responsibility of finder of goods is in section 71. And obligation of a person enjoying the benefit of non-gratuitous act is in section 70. Which one of the following is not a quasi-contract? Right answer is option number 4, novation. Come to question number 13. A applies to banker for loan at a time when there is a stringency in the money market. The banker declines to make the loan except at an unusually high rate of interest. A accepts the loan on these terms. In this case, the contract is what? Vitiated by undue influence, or valid because the transaction in ordinary course of business. Option 3, void because the banker took unfair advantage of stringency in money market. Or option 4, voidable at the option of A, who was deceived by the banker. Well, it is basically, if you see the section 26 illustration D, then it is valid case. Valid because this is a transaction in the ordinary course of business. Come to question number 14. Inadequacy of consideration is relevant in determining the question of a fraud, misrepresentation, undue influence and free consent. The right answer is option 4, free consent, and it is mentioned in section 25, explanation 2. Come to question number 15. P, a wholesale dealer in sugar, sells sugar to Q with a condition that Q shall not sell the sugar beyond 1 kilometer of P's godown. The agreement is valid without free consent, in restraint of trade, and thus void or voidable at the option of P. It is in a restraint of trade and thus void, and it is mentioned in what? Section 27 of Contract Act. Come to question number 16. While determining damages for the breach of contract, which of the following are taken into account? Motive, indirect loss, means or remedying the inconvenience caused by non-performance, or option 4, all of the above. It is option number 3, means or remedying the inconvenience caused by non-performance. Question number 17. In case of acceptance by post, at what point the acceptance is complete as against the proposer? When the letter of acceptance is put in the course of transmission so as to be out of the power of the acceptor. Option 2, the letter of acceptance has been written. Option 3, when the letter of acceptance has been received. Option 4, when the letter of acceptance has been read by the proposer. The right answer is option number 1, when the letter of acceptance is put in the course of transmission so as to be out of the power of acceptor. Question number 18. A person who finds goods belonging to another and takes them into his custody is subject to the same responsibility as a bailer, as an indemnity, as an agent, or as a bailee. It is as a bailee. Right answer is option 4, and it is given in section 71. Come to question number 19. A contract to sing for B at a concert for ₹50,000 which are paid in advance. A is too ill to sing on the day of the concert. The consequence is option A. A is bound to make compensation to B for the loss of the profit which B would have made if A had been able to sing. Option 2. A is bound to refund to B ₹50,000 paid in advance. Option 3. A can be forced to sing at the concert. Or option 4. A is bound to refund only that money out of ₹50,000 that he has not spent. Well, it is option number 2, bound to refund, and it is mentioned where? Under section 65. Come to question number 20. Where persons reciprocally promise firstly to do certain things which are legal, and secondly under specified circumstances to do certain other things which are illegal. The first set of promises contract, but the second set is a void agreement. Option 2, The first set of promise is voidable, but the second set is a void agreement. Option 3, the entire set of promises is void, or option 4, the entire set of promises is valid. It is basically section 51. So the right answer is option 1. First set of promise is a contract, but the second set is a void agreement. Come to question number 21. If the compensation to be paid on the breach of the contract is genuine pre-estimate of the prospective damages, it is known as what? Special damages, penalty, unliquidated damages, or liquidated damages? It is liquidated damages. Option number 4, and mention where? Under section 74. Come to question number 22. Mark the correct answer in respect of the contract of guarantee. It may be in writing, it may be oral, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 and 2. It is both 1 and 2, and it is mentioned where? Under section 126 of Contract Act. Question number 23. An agreement which is enforceable by law at the option of one or more of the parties thereto, but not at the option of the other or others, is a valid contract, unenforceable contract, voidable contract, or quasi contract. It is voidable contract, and mentioned where? Under section 2, clause I of Contract Act. Question number 24. An agency can be terminated by the principal revoking his authority. Option 2, an agent renouncing the business of the agency. Option 3, either the principal or agent dying, or all of the above. Agency, it is section 201. Right answer is option number 4. Come to question number 25. If the time of performance of a contract is the essence of the contract and the promisor fails to perform the contract by the specified time, the contract is void, valid, voidable at the option of the promise, or infructuous. It is voidable at the option of the promisee. Spelling mistake. Section 55 of Indian Contract Act. Uttarakhand, Rajasthan, and right now our come to next question. Question number 177. A contract which formed without the free consent of the parties is what? Void ab initio, void, illegal, void at the instance of the party whose consent was not free. It is void at the instance of the party, and it is mentioned under section 19 of Contract Act. Question number 182. Which is correct? Proposal plus acceptance is promise. Proposal plus consideration is agreement. Agreement plus enforceability becomes contract, or all of the above. All of these are correct. Come to question 188. Which of the following is the correct meaning of privity of contract? Privity of contract is basically a general principle of our Contract Act, and it says that only parties to the contract can sue on it. Right answer is option number 4. Come to question number 189. The doctrine of subrogation enables a third person to stand in the shoes of the creditor, creditor to sue the debtor to postpone the payment, includes all of the above. It is basically option number 1. This question is related to Transfer of Property Act, but here it is asked as a general question. Right answer will be option number 1. Come to next question. Question number 190. Consider the following statements with regard to uberrima fides. Means what? In good faith. So it is a contract question. It falls within the class of cases which require utmost good faith. Every contract is a contract of uberrima fides, or contract of insurance is an instance of uberrima fides. The right answer is what? Right answer is option number 2. Because it is not necessary that every contract is based upon the good faith. Not necessary.
Next question number 18. A and B orally settle a dispute with the help of C. This oral settlement is an award under arbitration, an agreement under contract, not an agreement under contract, as not in writing. देखिए एग्रीमेंट राइटिंग में होना कोई ज़रूरी नहीं है. ए कंसिलिएशन एग्रीमेंट विद द मीनिंग ऑफ आर्बिट्रेशन एग्रीमेंट. नो, इट इज़ एन एग्रीमेंट अंडर द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. सो 2 इज़ द आंसर. Next 54. A proposes by letter sent by post to sell his house to B. When is the last point of time when A can revoke the proposal? ये पूछ रहे हैं कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्ट से, तो बात करें रिवोकेशन की. रिवोकेशन मेंशन इन सेक्शन 5. इट कैन बी रिवोक्ड एनी टाइम. रिवोकेशन ऑफ प्रपोजल है तो बिफोर द एक्सेप्टेंस. तो कब होगा? बिफोर डेट एंड टाइम व्हेन बी पोस्ट द लेटर फॉर एक्सेप्टिंग द प्रपोजल. तो 3 इज द आंसर. नेक्स्ट इज 55. अंडर इंडियन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्ट विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग एग्रीमेंट इज नॉट वॉइड? कौन सा void नहीं है? A contract which consent has been obtained by fraud. Yes, it is correct. अब पूछेंगे कैसे? It is voidable. A contract in which both parties are under misrepresentation as to matter of fact essential to the agreement. ये क्या है? ये void है. Exchange of trade is void to that extent. ठीक है, तो 1 is the answer, not void पूछा है यहाँ पे. And where it is mentioned fraud वाला section 19 of Indian Contract Act. Next is 56. A and B enter into a contract where under A agree to pay B a sum of money against delivery of either furniture or ivory. Trade in ivory is prohibited by law. तो क्या होगा? Agreement is valid to delivery of furniture, void for ivory. तो B, so 2 is the answer. जितना illegal है वो void हो जाएगा, जितना valid है वो valid रहेगा. And where it is mentioned under section 58 of Indian Contract Act. Next is 57. In contract law, continuing guarantee is auto renewal clause, determination depend on mutual consent, a series of transactions. So 3 is the answer. Where is continuing guarantee mentioned? In section 129 of Indian Contract Act. अब आ गया फिर से IPC. Next is 136. A power of attorney executed by A in favor of B remains valid and effective notwithstanding death of A. As the power of attorney was executed by A during the lifetime, as long as B is not aware of the death of A, as long as legal representatives of A do not cancel the said attorney, if the same has been executed for consideration. तो आंसर क्या रहेगा इसका? 4. Next is 137. Mistake as to law enforced in India makes the contract neither void nor voidable because it is valid. अब देखिए valid नहीं लिखा, ये चीज़ लिख दी यहाँ पर. Mistake of law enforced in India तो क्या होगा? तो valid है. Mistake आपने करी है. अगर लिखा तो वही फॉरेन मतलब फॉरेन लॉस तो हो सकता था void वो. Next 138. Principle of accord and satisfaction कहाँ आता है? ये applies to arbitration agreement. 1 is the answer. Next 139. A written agreement between father of A and B that A and B would get married on becoming major is क्या है? ये है void. देखिए ये भी एक ट्रिक क्वेश्चन है, बहुत लोगों ने सोचा होगा. ये लिखा हुआ ना वैलिड इन केस A and B have agreed to bound by their said agreement and becoming major. ये भी हो सकता है, लेकिन ये तो फिर फ्यूचर की बात हो गई ना. एग्रीमेंट हुआ है उस टाइम पर, तो उस टाइम पर तो एग्रीमेंट क्या था? वॉइड. एंड क्या आप एक वॉइड एग्रीमेंट को वैलिड कर सकते हो बाद में? नो. सो ये ऑप्शन भी करेक्ट नहीं है. ठीक है ना, वैलिड तो है ही नहीं. अब ये क्यों वॉइड है? बिकॉज दे आर रेस्ट्रेनिंग द मैरिज ऑफ ए एंड बी. कैसे भाई? वो कह रहे हैं कि ए तू कहीं नहीं करेगा, बी भी कहीं नहीं करेगा. ठीक है ना, तो उनकी मैरिज को बाउंड कर रहे हैं, उनको बाउंड कर रहे हैं. दे कैन नॉट बाउंड अदर पर्सन ना. सो 2 is the answer. And where is the section for agreement in a state of marriage is void? It is mentioned in section 26. Next is 180. The following agreement is lawful. कौन सा agreement lawful है? Agreement to kill? No. Between a husband and wife that X shall marry 5 times. Husband कह रहा है कि मैं 5 शादियाँ करूँगा. Agreement not unlawful. Immoral purpose. Section 23 will be applicable. अभी एक सेक्शन 23 से ही पूछ रहे हैं ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्ट. एग्रीमेंट सेल ऑफ फ्यूचर गुड्स, ये कर सकते हो आप. एग्रीमेंट टू डिवाइड प्रोसीड ऑफ क्राइम इक्वली ऑल्सो हिट बाय सेक्शन 23. और फ्यूचर गुड्स के लिए कहाँ पर मेंशन किया गया? सेल ऑफ गुड्स का सेक्शन 6 जो है वो कहता है कि सेल हो सकती है एग्जिस्टिंग ऑफ फ्यूचर गुड्स की. नेक्स्ट 183. ए पार्टी रिसेंडिंग अ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इज नॉट एंटाइटल्ड टू डैमेज, कैन sue for declaration and specific performance, cannot sue but only defend, can sue for damages, can sue for damages by separate suit as well. Where is it is mentioned? SRA section 27 section of contract. इसका आंसर रहेगा 4. Next 183. Liability of a guarantor is joint and several with principal debtor. So 1 is the answer. ये कहाँ पर मेंशन किया गया है? ये मेंशन किया गया है सेक्शन 128 ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्ट में. Next 189. The term bailer is defined in Contract Act. 1 is the answer.
Next question is 63. An agency is terminated by the principal revoking the authority of the agent, by the agent renouncing the business of agency, by the death of the principal or agent, or all of the above. Termination of agency is discussed where? Section 201 of Indian Contract Act. Right, and this section gives certain conditions that in which cases the agency is to be terminated. According to that section, an agency is terminated by the principal revoking his authority. So option 1, principal revoking the authority. Next, or by the agent renouncing the business of the agency. Option 2, renouncing the business of agency. Or by the business of the agency being completed. Or either by the principal or agent dying or becoming of unsound mind. Or by the principal being adjudicated as an insolvent under the provisions of any act for the time being in force for the relief of insolvent debtors. So death is also a condition there. So all these three options are mentioned in this section. So right answer is option number 4. Next is question number 64. Which of the following contracts cannot be specifically enforced? A contract which is so dependent on the personal qualifications of the parties that the court cannot enforce specific performance of its material terms. A contract which is in its nature determinable. Option 3, where a party to the contract has obtained substituted performance of the contract. Or option 4, all of the above. So the right answer here is all of the above. And it is mentioned where? Section 14 of SRA, which says what? That which contracts are not specifically enforceable. So all these terms are mentioned in section 14. You can read it out there. Next is question number 65. The act of submission of a tender is option 1, an act of making an offer pursuant to the notice of inviting tender. Well, the right answer is option number 1 only. Next is question 66. When consent to an agreement is caused by coercion, fraud or misrepresentation, the agreement becomes what? Option A, agreement is not a contract. Option 2, the agreement is a contract voidable at the option of the party whose consent was so caused. Option 3, the agreement is a contract voidable at the option of the other party. Option 4, the agreement is binding contract between the parties. The right answer is option number 2. The agreement is a contract voidable at the option of the party whose consent was so caused. Next is question 67. If the parties to an agreement are under a mistake as to the matter of the fact essential to the agreement is void. Option number 1 only. And mistake, which section talks about it? Section 20 of Indian Contract Act. Next is question 68. An agreement without consideration is void unless it is expressed in writing. Option 2, it is expressed in writing and registered under the law for the time being in force for registration of documents. Option 3, expressed in writing and registered under the law for the time being in force for registration of documents and is made on the account of natural love and affection between the parties standing in a near relation to each other. Well, the 25, that agreement without consideration is void and certain conditions are given there. So right answer is option number 3. Because the other conditions are given in option number 3 only, right? Next is question number 69. X on 1st July 2018 agrees to sell his house to Y for a price of rupees 1 crore. If the entire price is paid on or before 31st July 2018 and for the price of rupees 1 crore 25 lakhs after 1st or 31st July 2018 but before 30th September 2018. It was further agreed that if the entire price is not paid by the 30th September of the same year, Y shall not be entitled to purchase the house and the earnest money paid by Y to X shall stand forfeited. Such an agreement is it void for uncertainty? Is void because the meaning of it is not certain on account of being by the way of wager. Option 3 is enforceable in law and option 4 none of the above. Well, the right answer here is option number 3 is enforceable by law and there is no question of uncertainty here, right? So right answer is option 3 only. Next is question number 70. Again a conceptual question. X and Y jointly take a loan from Z with the promise to repay the loan amount with interest within 2 years. Soon after taking the loan, X is declared insolvent and remains insolvent till the date of repayment of loan. Y also fails to repay the loan. X, on the account of his status as insolvent, enjoys immunity from legal proceedings. In these circumstances, option A, Z can in law institute a suit for recovery of only 50% of the outstanding from Y. Z is entitled in law to sue Y alone for the recovery of entire outstanding amount. Z is not entitled to sue Y also for recovery of loan amount till the order of insolvency of X ceases to operate. Or option 4, Z is entitled in law to sue Y for 50% of the principal amount due and entire interest outstanding. This is basically mentioned where? Section 42 and 43 of Indian Contract Act. And what does 42 and 43 talks about? These are devolution of joint liabilities, and 43 says any one of joint promisors may be compelled to perform. Each promisor may compel contribution share of loss by default in contribution, right? And illustration A of the same section 43 is some kind of similar illustration with this example. The right answer here is option number 2. Next one, again conceptual question. X and Y jointly take loan from Z promise to repay the same with interest within 2 years, loan not repaid. Z releases X from liability and institute a suit for recovery of the entire amount due from Y alone. Z in-law is entitled to recover the entire outstanding amount from Y. The answer is option number 1 only, and this relates to which section? Section 44 of Contract Act, which says effect of release of one joint promisor. Now questions from contract. Question number 172. If only a part of single consideration for one or more objects is unlawful, the contract shall be valid to the extent the same is lawful, void to the extent the same is unlawful, void as a whole, or valid as a whole. And this thing is from section 24 of Contract Act. And it says that if the consideration and objects are unlawful in part, if any part of a single consideration for one or more objects or any one or several consideration for the single object is unlawful, the agreement is what? Void. So the right answer is option number 3, void as a whole. Next is question number 173. A letter of acceptance sent by the post is lost in transit. Then option 1, there is a concluded contract as the letter of acceptance is put in the course of transmission. There is no concluded contract as the acceptance has not come to the knowledge of the proposer. There is no concluded contract as the acceptance has not been communicated to the proposer, or none of the above. Well, this is asked from which section? Section number 4, acceptance. What does section 4 signify? It signifies that communication of an acceptance is complete as against the proposer when it is put in the course of transmission to him so as to out of the power of the acceptor, and as against the acceptor when it comes to the knowledge of proposer. So the right answer is option number 1. There is a concluded contract as the letter of acceptance is put in the course of transmission, and it is basically what? A postal rule. Now next is question number 174. A and B go into a shop. B says to the shopkeeper, let A have the goods, I will see that you are paid. Here the contract is of what? It is basically section number 126. It is the contract of guarantee. Next question, question number 175. An agreement in restraint of trade. Which section says that? Section 27. Agreement in restraint of trade is valid, void to the extent of restraint, or option 4, voidable. Right answer is option number 3, void to the extent of such a restraint. Next is question number 176. If the compensation to be paid on a breach of the contract is genuine, the pre-estimate of the prospective damages is known as what? Liquidated, unliquidated, special damages, or penalty. Well, it is liquidated damages, and it is from section 73 and 74 of Indian Contract Act. Next is question number 177. If the time of performance of the contract is of essence, the promisor fails to perform his part by the specified time, the contract becomes what? Void, voidable at the option of promisee, infructuous, or valid. But it is voidable at the option of the promisee. Yeah, promise likha hua na, correct it becomes promisee. So right answer is option number 2. Next question is from agency. Question number 178. An agency is terminated by the principal revoking the authority of the agent, agent renouncing the business of agency, death of the principal or agent, or all of the above. Right answer is all of the above, and it is mentioned where? Section 201, agency, termination of agency.
Next is 76. Section 75 of Indian Contract Act is applicable on initially voidable contracts or subsequently voidable. Subsequently voidable. So 2 is the answer. Initially होगा तो नहीं apply होगा ना फिर, because 73, 74, 75 are for damages for breach of contract. Next is 77. An executed consideration is reciprocal promise, act done in response of positive promise. No, 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 no. And done in expectation of proposal. No. अब expectation है, in response है, reciprocal promise है, that is not a executed consideration. And क्या होता है executed consideration? Executed consideration is where the promisor asks for something in exchange for his promise, and the promisee provides the consideration by giving the promisor what he is requested. If one party to a contract makes a promise for an act by the another party, it is executed consideration. अब कई लोग सोच रहे हैं कि ये reciprocal promises क्यों नहीं है? The answer would be none of the above. कैसे कई लोग सोच रहे हैं कि reciprocal promise भी तो that is the same thing executed consideration? No, something has already been done, and in reciprocal promises I will do this, you will do that. That is reciprocal promise. So there is difference between executed consideration and reciprocal promises. So 4 is the answer. Where the definition of reciprocal promises 2F में, ठीक है. These all are futuristic. This is executed मतलब ये past में है. Next is 78. The principle related to responsibility of finder of goods has been laid down under section 71. 2 is the answer. 79. The nature of wagering agreement was explained in the case of Carler versus Carbolic Smoke Ball Company. 3 is the answer. Next is question number 80. Dash of the Indian Contract Act prescribe the acceptance must be made in the reasonable manner. If the proposer has prescribed a manner of acceptance, the acceptance must be made in that manner. If not so, then there is contract only if the proposer accept the acceptance. तो ये प्रोविजन कहाँ पर लिखा हुआ है? देखिए लिखा तो हुआ है ये सेक्शन 7 में, ठीक है. और उसके जो पॉइंट्स जो दिए हुए हैं ना 1 and 2, तो ये सेकंड पॉइंट में लिखा हुआ है. तो सेक्शन जो 7 जहाँ पर स्टेटमेंट लिखी हुई है कि कैसी होनी चाहिए एक्सेप्टेंस, तो उसके नीचे पॉइंट 1 and 2 लिखे हुए हैं. तो ये सेकंड पॉइंट है ये. When there is statement written in section, so we cannot consider it as a subsection. So answer would be none of the above, none of these. तो सेक्शन 7 रहेगा ये. अब जो ऑप्शंस में है सब सेक्शन 2 होने को तो ये भी हो सकता है, बट दिस विल बी ट्रीटेड एज अ सब सेक्शन. तो सब सेक्शन तो उसमें है नहीं. सब सेक्शन होता तो 7 के बाद ही वहाँ पर 1 लिखा होता, उसके बाद फिर 2 लिखा होता. दैट इज नॉट द केस इन सेक्शन 7. 81. सेक्शन 2I डिस्क्राइब्स अवॉइडेबल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. रिपीट क्वेश्चन 2014 का पेपर देख लीजिए, उसमें मिल जाएगा आपको ये क्वेश्चन DGS का ही. Next is 82. Where there is duty to speak, keeping silence is fraud, provided in section 17. Explanation, undue influence in 16, caution 15. Alright. Next is 83. A promise to pay time bar debt is enforceable if some conditions are fulfilled. Which one of the condition is not required? It may be signed by the promisor. Writing होनी चाहिए, registered होना चाहिए. It must be definite and express. उसकी जरूरत नहीं है definite express होने की. राइटिंग में हो गया, साइन कर दिया, प्रॉमिसर रजिस्टर करवा लिया, दैट इज इनफ. एंड दिस इज एक्सेप्शन 2 सेक्शन 25. एक्सेप्शन 3 कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हो गया. अगर आपको इसमें कोई कमी लगी हो, कोई सजेशन हो, कोई एडवाइस हो, कोई कमेंट्स हो, तो आप जो है कमेंट सेक्शन में जाकर भी लिख सकते हैं. वी ऑलवेज अप्रिशिएट योर कमेंट्स. एंड अगर आपको ये वीडियो अच्छी लगी और एफर्ट्स हमारे अच्छे लगे हो तो उसको जरूर लाइक कीजिएगा, शेयर कीजिएगा अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ, सो दैट दे कैन कम टू नो अबाउट आवर चैनल एंड वो भी बेनिफिट ले सकें. एंड अगर आपको हमारे एफर्ट्स अच्छे लगे हो तो इन एडिशन टू लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब काइंडली गिव अस अ सुपर थैंक्स. सुपर थैंक्स इज अ वे टू अप्रिशिएट द कंटेंट क्रिएटर. आप जो है जो भी कंटेंट बनाता है उसको अप्रिशिएट करने के लिए कोई भी अमाउंट जो है डोनेट कर सकते हैं. फ्रॉम मिनिमम स्टार्ट्स विद 40 रुपीज़. एंड थैंक्स वेरी मच फॉर वॉचिंग दिस वीडियो. थैंक यू.